Hi, my name is Keith Wright, and our farm is called Wrightland Farm here in Harrow. And today we are producing asparagus. We are in asparagus production for the next 6 weeks. We've been producing asparagus here at our farm for probably over 40 years. My grandfather and father both were producers of asparagus. I myself became involved with the farm in the late 70s, and we've, of course, as time went on, we increased our acreage because of the demand for asparagus. But I've personally been growing asparagus, I guess, almost you could say forever, as long as I could remember as a kid. We used to harvest asparagus, my sisters and I. So we've been in the asparagus business for a long time, and a lot of the local people have worked on our farms here for asparagus. It's just a short season. Our season only lasts for 6 or 7 weeks. So it is a critical time. It's a short season, so we try and make the best of it with the weather that's been given to us. And as anything, we want to harvest the asparagus when it's fresh, try and catch it before it gets too long and too seedy looking, so that you as the consumer can enjoy our fresh asparagus. Asparagus is a short season crop. It is a perennial. So we've planted the seed, asparagus seed. It's a little round seed. We plant the seed, we grow the small root for 1 year. We transplant that root out of the seed bed into a trench. We try and get our trenches down 6 to 8 inches deep to plant the root. We plant about the roots 8 to 10 inches apart in the row, and then we cover them up a little bit at a time. So really, being a perennial crop, we have to grow it for 2 years. Don't cut the asparagus, just let it grow for 2 years, and that builds the root, charges the roots up with their carbohydrates. The 3rd year, we can harvest it maybe for a week to 2 weeks at the most, if the plant looks strong. The 4th season, we can pretty well harvest it the full 6 to 7 weeks of our normal season. And so thereafter, we are hoping for at least 20 to 25 year life expectancy of the field. This field here that we're in today is approximately 20 years old. So as you can see, you will notice that the rows are starting to widen out. As the asparagus crown ages, it gets bigger. It starts out small, and then it becomes bigger and bigger till after about 20 years, it's almost the size of a dinner plate. And it's a very hard root. It's like an old tree stump. And around that crown is several buds. And that's what shoots up these asparagus spears, is all the little buds around the top of the crown. So as the planting ages, your rows will start to widen out a little bit. And as long as we don't have the gaps or the plant death in the row, this field will stay in production for a few more years. Once we start to see a yield decline, then it'll be time to move on to start a new field, and we'll have some new fields in production. So being a perennial, as a grower, we're always thinking ahead that this field might be good for another 3 or 4 years. So in another year or two, I really should be starting to get another field ready for production, because it takes 3 or 4 years to get a field into production. So as asparagus growers or perennial growers or fruit tree growers, we're always thinking ahead. It's a little different than a corn and soybean farmer who plants a seed and harvests it the same year. This is a little different. We plant the seed, but yet we really don't harvest it for another 4 years. So it takes a long time to be in the asparagus production. Well, in asparagus production, to get a nice fresh product, timing is everything. So soon after harvest, after it's harvested in the field, we try and get it into the cooler as quickly as possible to take some of that field heat out of it. Once it's been in the cooler, it quickly goes onto the grading line, and there you've seen where ladies will grade out the odds and ends, the tips, the broken tips, the crooked spears, and try and, as we go down the line, they select the proper lengths and grades, and then we bunch it. We use 2 rubber bands per bunch. The bunches, at least on our pack line, they're not pre-weighed, so they're roughly over a pound. So when you purchase asparagus, normally it's so much a pound. But it takes, as you've noticed, it takes a lot of people. It takes a lot of hands to get fresh asparagus for you, the consumers, to enjoy. So, you know, we're very fortunate here having a good workforce and to try and get you as fresh a product as possible. And so there's a lot of steps involved from the field right through to the end of the grading line to get it to your house as quickly as possible so you can have the freshest product available to you.
Hi, I'm Susan. I hope you enjoy your asparagus growing at Wrightland Farm that you can purchase at Anna's Flowers.
Thank you for coming today, and hope you enjoy your asparagus at Anna's. And remember, it's a short season, so eat it when you can and eat it every day. Thank you. Bye now.